moving on to other fight that might have some serious title implications. We had Jessica Andrade with a statement debut against Kaitlyn blonde fighter Chookagian, which again, I digress a little bit, but I hate that name, blonde fighter. It's such a boring fighter name, but it's come on.
I don't mind.
Wait, who's Kaitlyn Chookagian again? Oh, she's a blonde fighter.
It reminds me of an old Western movie, like The Blonde Avenger, The Masked Bandit. Like,
yeah,
it gives me a little vibe like that.
Fine. If she said like the blonde something, great. But blonde fighter, like everyone's a fighter in there.
It's not the
blonde
best,
assassin,
but I don't hate it. There's much worse names out there.
There is worse. There's definitely worse. But come on. I was even thinking, like, you know how like everyone says the 115 division is fucking loaded up and the 125, 135 is very top heavy. I would actually say the same thing goes, except for the fighter names there. The 115 division, we have Thug Rose. We had Jessica the Pile Driver Andrade. We've got who else we have? The Bookie Woman. We've got all these awesome names in 115, and even if you go to the top 125, the top 135, the Lioness Nunez or Bullet Shevchenko, that's badass. And then you go to the other 125, and you got Blonde Fighter, you got the Cookie Monster, you got what else?
The Cookie Monster's not too
right.
Good.
The Happy Warrior,
like
the Happy Warrior's not
bad. The Happy Warrior I like because that sounds horrifying. That sounds like something like out of like a Game of Thrones book or some shit. Like this guy just murders people and he never stops smiling.
That's true. That's true.
I like that one.
I mean, you wouldn't think it, but I think the quality of the name is also a little bit indicative of the quality of the fighters in those divisions too. But moving on, Jessica the Pile Driver with the badass woman with a badass name scores a vicious body shot KO over the slightly less badass woman with a way less badass name in Kaitlyn Chookagian.
You can't get over. You got to get over the name.
I gotta get over it. But yeah, I mean, she showed her that her name wasn't very good. Scored those huge gut punches. First, Chookagian had her against the fence, and she actually countered with a right hook to the body. Chookagian bent over, yelled aloud, turned away, ran to the other end of the octagon. You don't see a reaction that big. Tried to fight back, and then Andrade went for another big body shot, and Chookagian folded like a suitcase. It was vicious.
Yeah.
I am, to be honest, going into this, I thought Andrade didn't have much of a shot, and the reason why is because Andrade, she really doesn't have a lot of technique. She's progressed a lot from that first Rose fight where she won the belt, but she still is not a very technical fighter. She relies a lot on her strength and her power, and I just didn't think that strength and power was going to translate going up in weight class. But it did. She out-muscled, she out-strengthed, she outworked, she just outpowered and pile-drived Chookagian, and that's what got her the win. And I think it'll be fun to watch her against I'm getting ahead of myself. You guys go ahead first. What do you think of this win before we get into her against Shevchenko?
I just love a good gut punch KO.
That's all.
That's all I've got. That's my favorite way to finish a fight. It's brain damage is bad. I mean, don't get me wrong. Brain damage is like pretty bad. But I bet getting punched in the stomach until you get knocked out hurts more.
It does hurt more, yeah.
So, God, just makes me feel bad. I mean, bad for them, good for me in like my eyes. But that was another dominant performance. It seems like that was I've sort of lost my train of thought there, but I was I'm going to explain to the audience, I was extraordinarily drunk last night during the fight, so I was sort of just ducking in and out. So I was just really excited when I saw the gut shot knockout. That made me very, very happy last night. Yeah. So take it away, Adam.
Yeah, I mean, I thought it was actually like stopped slightly early initially because I didn't see the second gut shot. So I was like, oh, maybe she could have fought it out and then had a lot of time, like have used the full minute to recover and, you know, come back a little bit more refreshed. But then during the replay, I saw the second shot and I was like, okay, there wasn't much coming back after that.
Dude, I if I took one Jessica Andrade gut shot, I wouldn't walk for a week, dude. Oh my god, I'd be puking my guts out. So I mean, it looks like, I mean, I don't think we got a Dana White post-fight interview. So we haven't heard what Dana White thinks about this, but we've been talking about her potentially being our next 125-pound title challenger. So she might fight Valentina the Bullet Shevchenko, someone who can rival her not only in strength, not only in technique, not only in power, but also in name quality. So, I mean, I think that at the end of the day, I think Valentina is too big for Andrade. I think she has the strength to compete with Andrade, as I was just saying, in all honesty, with no jokes here. I think she's just as strong as Andrade. I think she's way more technical. Technique beats power, technique and precision. As we saw with Adesanya against Costa, it'll be that kind of a fight. I think she'll do what Rose did to I think she'll do what Rose did to Andrade, except she has longer range and she has more power. So she's going to knock her out. I think this is not going to be a close fight. As good as Andrade is, she's not Shevchenko.
Yeah, I kind of feel that the UFC is sort of, I'm not saying taking advantage of her name, but definitely using it to their power to sort of add a little bit of light into the 125-pound division, because she will probably be the biggest name that Valentina's faced besides Joanna. So I mean, I don't think it'll be a super competitive fight, but it'll probably be a little bit more well watched than some of the others.
Can I just say, actually, you just brought up a really good point. I didn't think about it. Joanna's faced Andrade, and we saw what Joanna did to Andrade. She pieced her up. She did what Rose did, but kind of similarly. And if I'm being honest, Valentina is very similar to, well, not very similar. She has the same skill set that Joanna does, but she's bigger, she's stronger, and she's a little bit more advanced in that skill set. So I think that she'll just do exactly what Joanna did to Andrade, but just to a higher degree. I think that in general, we might actually see a bit of a trend of some 115ers moving up to 125. That would be really interesting to see, just because that 115-pound division is so competitive. It's so close. There's so many top contenders, and it's so hard to get a title shot at 115. I think we might start seeing a trend of people moving up to 125 and girls getting title shots, because it's just so empty there, and they can get some success against some mid-level fighters and get a shot against Valentina. And of course, because they built that name at 115, it'll sell a lot more than these, the Jennifer Mayas of the world. No offense to Jennifer Maya, but I don't think anybody, even in the hardcore scene,
I don't think she's watching. So it's okay.
That's a good point.
Do you have any names you think should step up and maybe try their hand at the higher weight class? I
mean, you want to say Joanna. Joanna is a perfect example of that, but Valentina has already taken care of Joanna too many times, and it's just not going to happen. She's not going to get another title shot. So, but otherwise, Joanna would be the perfect candidate. Who else has a tough?
I'd like to see Tatiana Suarez, maybe.
I mean, but we haven't seen her at 115 yet. The reason she's out is not because she can't cut weight, is because her neck is fucked up. So I want to see if she has a title fight and loses, then I would see her maybe moving up to 125 and trying her hand there. But let's see her. She hasn't lost at 115.
Yeah, she's